whole world, and he built a statue, 9 feet tall, 9 feet wide, made of gold, and he wanted people to bow down to worship that statue. And I'm going to read from verse 8 of chapter 3 in Daniel. At this time, some astrologers came forward and denounced the Jews. They said to King Nebuchadnezzar, "O king, live forever. You have issued a decree, O king, that everyone who hears the sounds of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and all kinds of music must fall down and worship the image of gold, and that whoever does not fall down and worship will be thrown into a blazing furnace. But there are some Jews whom we have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who pay no attention to you, O king, and neither serve your gods nor worship the image of gold you have set up." Furious with rage, Nebuchadnezzar summoned Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So these men were brought before the king, and Nebuchadnezzar said to them, "Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the image of gold I have set up? Now, when you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and all kinds of music, if you are ready to fall down and worship the image I made, very good. But if you do not worship it, you'll be thrown immediately into a blazing furnace. Then what God will be able to rescue you from my hand?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to the king, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to save us from it, and he will rescue us from your hand, O king. But even if he does not, we want you to know, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up." Then Nebuchadnezzar was furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and his attitude toward them changed. He ordered the furnace heated 7 more times hotter than usual, and commanded some of the stronger soldiers in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the blazing furnace. So these men, wearing their robes, trousers, turbans, and other clothes, were bound and thrown into the blazing furnace. The king's command was so urgent and the furnace so hot that the flames of the fire killed the soldiers who took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, firmly tied, fell into the blazing furnace. Then King Nebuchadnezzar leaped to his feet in amazement and asked his advisors, "Weren't there 3 men that we tied up and threw into the fire?" They replied, "Certainly, O king." He said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the 4th looks like the son of the gods." Nebuchadnezzar then approached the opening of the blazing furnace and shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out, come here." So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fire, and the satraps, prefects, governors, and royal advisors crowded around them. They saw that the fire had not harmed their bodies, nor was a hair of their heads singed. Their robes were not scorched, and there was no smell of fire on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar said, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants. They trusted in him and defied the king's command and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own God. Therefore, I decree that the people of any nation or language who say anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be cut into pieces and their houses be turned into piles of rubble, for no other God can save in this way." Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Compromise is all around us today. It's everywhere we look, even in the church. The idols of our age tempt us with false promises. And if we reject those promises of sex, power, alcohol, drugs, and money, we may be left out. On the other hand, if we stand by our convictions, we may find ourselves alone. Yet, at the heart of it, the Bible teaches us that this world holds out empty promises that can never fill our souls. When we go out with the currents of this world, we may find immediate gratification, but the pleasures will be fleeting, and we will be left with nothing but empty hands and broken hearts. The story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is a powerful reminder that conviction trumps compromise every time. When Nebuchadnezzar warned of judgment for not worshiping a man-made image, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego boldly proclaimed their faith in God and would not bow down to another. Nebuchadnezzar said to them, "If you don't worship the image, you will immediately be thrown into a furnace of blazing fire. And who is the God who can rescue you from my power?" Daniel 3:15. These were men of God who did not compromise. The faithful man answered, "If the God we serve exists, then he can rescue us from the furnace of blazing fire, and he can rescue us from the power of you, the king. But even if he does not rescue us, we want you as king to know that we will not serve your gods or worship the gold statue you set up." And God did just that. After being thrown into the fire, the men emerged completely untouched. Their clothes and hair were left unsinged, and not even the smell of smoke lingered on them. What a testimony to the comprehensiveness of the Lord's protection. God often meets his children in the most profound furnaces of life, promising, when you walk through the fire, you will not be scorched, and the flame will not burn you. Isaiah 43:2. Perhaps the burning desire to turn to the things of this world is a fire crackling in your heart today. Is God not able to strengthen you to resist compromise? Is our God not able to empower you to resist the temptations that so easily entangle us? The same Jesus will promise to be with us until the end of the age, Matthew 28:20, also taught us to pray, "Do not bring us into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one," Matthew 6:13. Therefore, be strong. Do not compromise. The reward for faithfulness is infinitely better than the fleeting satisfaction that comes from yielding to this world's temptations. I'll play this song.